Hello and welcome to the A Link to the Past Randomizer League Open Division. This is the Thieves Town Division, and tonight we are featuring WesSideVandal of Team Guardians of the Galaxy Brain versus Rhades138 of the Hovering Sick Kids. And this is a matchup to watch because one of these two players will be walking away with their team's first win. And I think that's going to be pretty exciting. I bet they're both pretty eager to get that first win on the board. The mode that for this week's game is Faux All Dungeons Key Sanity, which means that both players will have to complete all of the dungeons in the game and find every key that they need, big and small, except for the two castle tower keys, which will be in their original positions. And I believe both runners should be on the move pretty quickly here. Here we go. Looks like Raid starts in the Sanctuary and finds a map. I believe this is the Houlihan start for Raids. And we see WesSideVandal makes the same play. But heads to the west instead. Raids is setting up, trying to kill that guard there, I think, and heads to the west as well. Both players checking that tier 1 tree pull, not finding any help. No help from the bush crabs either, just a single green rupee. I don't think either are too happy about that. Oh, and a very interesting big key up on that lumberjack ledge. Both players will have to complete Aga Tower to complete the game before defeating Ganon. So they're just going to get that little bit of extra information that they may have to do that sooner rather than later. And those 3 bombs from the mushroom location in the Lost Woods will help with the Kakariko early game routing. I'm sure both players are happy to see that. And the infamous Ice Rod. In this mode, not as sneaky as it usually is, because you just need so many extra items that can only open 1 or 2 locations. So both players pretty much in lockstep here. Raids just a little bit ahead, I believe, into the village, but not by very much. An early flute and a couple of big keys in Kakariko so far. None of those big keys can be used yet, though. We've got Thieves Town big key, which can be nice when we get to the Dark World. That's an easily completable dungeon. And then the Desert Palace big key, which is required as well. But we can't get to it without either a book or Titan's Mitts and the Mirror with that early flute pickup. And both players also pick up a nice weapon in the bow. So they have the bow and the ice rod. Both are very useful for Mini Moldorm Cave, which is probably going to be on their route to after Kakariko. However, they don't have any ammunition for either weapon, so they may try to look for some, or they may buy some bombs. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here. And there's some cash for our players. That's always nice to see early in Key Sanity. Sometimes with all the extra maps and compasses, you may not see any of those big rupee hordes for a while. And both players have activated their flute, I believe, although Rhades seems to be out of the village pretty quickly. Maybe I missed it. But I believe both players activated their flute. And that'll be very helpful for their mobility moving forward. Nope, looks like Rhades did indeed forget to activate that flute, so he's going back to do that right now. And another interesting big key location, that's 2 big keys behind the boots. That says to me that the boots will probably show up pretty soon here. At least, I'm sure that's what both of our runners are thinking and hoping. WesSideVandal deciding to do the maze race blind. I think he may be disappointed by this one. It's just a compass. But overall, that's usually a good play in Key Sanity. The odds are very high that it's something at least somewhat useful. So the dam has 2 compasses today. Not the most interesting place to be. Rhades quickly moves on. It'll be interesting to see if Rhades remembers to check Link's house as well. That was the first thing that WesSideVandal did. Getting that early flute, sometimes you forget. And there's our Moon Pearl and a small key to Ice Palace. If we get Cane of Samaria early, that could really open up Ice Palace routing for a very quick Ice Palace. Check 8 items in there, and otherwise a somewhat annoying dungeon to route in its entirety. And Rhades takes the walk over to Ice Rod Cave. For 100 rupees. It's always nice to get that out of the way early. It looks like WesSideVandal has the same thought. And Raids not forgetting Link's house. 50 rupees in there. And Raids will now head to the castle for the items inside there, while WesSideVandal contends with a very dangerous situation here. Oh, just nearly avoided the crabs. Well done. Alright, so now we have some divergence where WesSideVandal will head to Eastern Palace and Sahasrara's hut as Raids continues into the castle. So far, just the powder showing up. Not a lot of progression there. Both players have that Moon Pearl looking for the other pieces to this puzzle so that they can start exploring more of the world. And we learned that Desert, one of those early big keys we found, is indeed the green pendant. And there's our glove. With a small key to Turtle Rock, the players will need to collect at least 3 of those, and maybe a 4th if they need the item inside the vanilla big key chest. Raids having no trouble with this escape with the bow and arrows. Going quickly to Zelda's cell. This is it could be an interesting play because logically this check does require the Hyrule Castle key. Whereas everything in here for WesSideVandal will be in logic except for the vanilla big key chest. And it's a small key to Skull Woods. Not the most useful key, but it does allow you to route that dungeon a little easier when you get to it. And to be honest, I don't even know if both players will be interested in that vanilla big key chest right now. It would be very difficult to get to with 3 hearts and no light source. I'll be very interested to see what each player decides to do after opening the big chest. Oh, and there are myths, so that's Dark World, finally. There's still a couple more Light World checks in Logic, but I suspect that we're probably going to the Dark World next. And WesSideVandal is going to give this a shot. Takes a half damage from the purple enemy in the dark, but gets through, gets the key, has full health. Oh, takes another hit. I think as long as he gets through this room, he's okay. And he's through, so at this point you can just use the pots to kill all the enemies in this room. And if you run back to the right, you can reset those pots, but it looks like he gets an arrow drop And we'll probably have enough arrows. Oh, never mind. He just takes the hearts and gets the invincibility and solves the problem a different way. Really heads up play. Um, and he's off to probably Kakariko Village and the Dark World. Oh, but first, stopping into the back of the escape. Meanwhile, Rhades is doing the same checks now in Eastern, about to pick up the mitts. And I'm afraid to say I missed most of the back of escape. I didn't see anything too useful. Let me know if I missed something important there. Well, so far, most things were in Kakariko Village. That was where we found our bow and the flute, as well as the ice rod in the Lost Woods. We also got a key to Desert Palace, the big key, and the big key to Thieves Town in Kakariko Village. Meanwhile, Rhades can't quite get to the big key chest. It's just 3 bombs, so he's not missing out on anything except for that peace of mind that something could be there. Meanwhile, the Moon Pearl was in Mini Moldorm Cave, and one glove was in Sahasrarla's closet, and the other was in Eastern Palace. And we're getting our first look at the Village of Outcasts, but WesSideVandal, oh, both players still on 3 hearts and green mail. That is very difficult to navigate the Dark World. Oh, and I see we get our second TR key and our second pod key in the back of Escape. So both players, I'm sure, very happy to see those. Both dungeons having some of the higher key counts in the game, requiring more keys to get through them. And so now both our players are meeting up in the Dark World. Just a heart piece in the chess game. And Rhades makes the same play that WesSideVandal did, going into Skull Woods first. That Hera key is not one you usually want to see in this mode. You just want it to be buried and never have to go down into the basement of Hera. It's a long check, and who knows what could be there. Another pod key in the C-shaped house and a Meyer key in the Skull Woods. quite a few maps collected so far. Might be a while before we see a map check though. And there's the hook shot. Really nice find for WesSideVandal. So there is our map check from Raids. We've got a 5/6 crystal at Swamp Palace, and it looked like 2 pendants at Ice Palace and the Palace of Darkness. Both players still without a sword, no hammer, and in fact, WesSideVandal in Thieves Town right now does not have a way to kill blind that I can see. No sword, no canes, no hammer. So I wonder if he will choose to keep going deeper, and he does. So Raids is doing the same checks here now, heading into the Village of Outcasts. So while we get this brewery check, it's just 20 rupees. Let me do a shout out to our broadcast team. Big shout out to Amarith on broadcasting and Drunk Future Self doing the tracking, pushing those buttons. Give a follow to those guys. It's hard work, and they're doing a great job to bring you a great stream. And then give our racers a follow. They're doing a great job here. They're making big plays. They're putting on a show for you guys to watch and learn from. And I think we're gonna settle in for a really nice race here. Both players finally got a health upgrade. Still, boy, still not much going on here. In terms of equipment, it's a very interesting start. I think both players appreciating the challenge, I hope. And we get a sneak peek at the stun prize there. It's 10 arrows, so that bow and arrow could be kind of nice to use as your primary weapon right now. Just some bombs, and I believe the big chest not available right now. We don't have the small key for either player, and unless I missed a pickup, I don't believe WesSideVandal can kill blind here. But I think spawning blind will make it quicker to come back later, but it may also make the fight more difficult. It really depends on, the equipment that he has when he comes back, I think. But either way, it's a pretty smart play. You don't have to go back to the basement. I kind of like it, actually. You get those 2 extra checks, and it looks like Raids is going to do the same exact thing. Both of our players really of the same mind right now. It's really, really interesting to watch. So WesSideVandal jumps down here to the digging game, doesn't find much. Again, probably going to go back to the smith chain. I believe this is a painful check to do without mirror, but it is, you know, something that maybe Rhades doesn't do. The flute does make it easier to get back to Kakariko Village after taking the frog around town. We'll see which checks WesSideVandal chooses to do at this point. And he steals Stumpy's compass. That's really sad. Stumpy needed that to get home. Poor Stumpy. And now Rhades is going to spawn blind as well. And does a quick death warp. While we get our first look at Hype Cave. And there may actually be something here. Oh, we get our second and final key to Ice Palace. So, we don't have any way to get in yet, but when we do, we'll be able to open all the doors. Oh, and there's a big key to Eastern and a small key to Turtle Rock, so already having the keys we need for Turtle Rock, that's a very interesting development. Yeah, both runners being very thorough here, taking the time to spawn blind so that they don't have to go back to the basement if they don't want to check that big chest. Alright, so Rhades is picking up that smith. Looks like the end of this will result in a heart piece. So we've got WesSideVandal off to the mountain. And I think that makes sense. There's the old man to rescue. Not in logic yet, but one extra check in addition to Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave, Spectacle Rock Cave, and the now Dark World checks also in logic. What most interests me is that Eastern Palace Big Key that was in Hype Cave. That's 2 more items to look out for in Eastern Palace. Sometimes the seed likes to give you breadcrumbs, especially in Key Sanity. You just never know which item is going to lead to progression. This hookshot also in the Dark World sphere, so I think definitely makes the most sense to follow up on first. But we'll see what we find next. Oh, and a big key locked behind the mirror. So that's 3 big keys that we know about but can't quite get. And that in addition to the other 2 being the lumberjack and the library. Ooh, that Tektite was in the worst spot for WesSideVandal. There was nothing he could have done short of hookshotting over to the other side of the gap and maybe resetting the screen. Oh, the boulders are just awful today. WesSideVandal just not having good luck with them. And looks like he didn't end up rescuing the old man, does not have that option as a spawn point. And this time it's the dead rocks getting a hold of WesSideVandal. Boy, this mountain, you know, they move randomly, the rocks move randomly. They're called cabbages of doom for a reason. Uh, and even there's just not much you can do about it sometimes. So there's the old man's reward. It's a compass. So nothing, I don't believe anything has been sequence broken yet of significant note. And WesSideVandal heading to Paradox Cave while Rhades climbs the mountain. Remember that Rhades did do Hyrule Castle front already. So this race is a lot closer than it appears, I believe. It really depends on if and when WesSideVandal decides to check those locations. If he can manage to skip them, then he'll maintain this little edge that he has right now, I think. Three red rupees in a row. 4 red rupees in a row. And missed that last... Oh, it must have been a sword. Hello, sword. With no medallions in hand, I believe that unlocks exactly blind right now. So while it's not the progression they were hoping for, I think both players will be very happy to see it. WesSideVandal not checking Floating Island, says I'm gonna be going that way later anyway. Rhades checks it and sees a small key. And there is a very sneaky key for Desert Palace that will unlock the 2 items on the right side and the boss, technically in logic now. Well, when we get access to Desert Palace, that is. We don't have that yet, do we? So only 6 more checks up here. We have Super Bunny Cave first, and then Hookshot Cave. We'll see if the players decide to check on the medallion requirement for Turtle Rock, but other than that, there's not much. Just have to see what we get. Rhades having a little bit of trouble with that block. Gets it on the second try. That's the first bottle for WesSideVandal, so he may check Sick Kid after this. Flippers will unlock a lot of the overworld water checks right now. There's quite a few to check on, but no way to access the 2 dungeons that logically require those flippers. And the entry to Turtle Rock is vanilla today. We will need to see the Quake Medallion. So now I wonder if we'll get some divergence here between our runners. We have a lot of items in pod. We have a lot of items in the water. And we have that Eastern Palace big key. I like to see this play from WesSideVandal, checking on a completable dungeon. Looked like he was checking his key situation. Meanwhile, Rhades is heading to the water. And the first look is at Hylia Island, which has a full heart container on it. And as much as that might not be progression, I bet he kind of wishes he could pick it up right now. Both players still on 4 hearts and green mail 35 minutes into this seed. Meanwhile, Link's friend under the bridge had his shield. That's a defensive upgrade technically. they can block projectiles with that, but it's not the most desired item in the randomizer, that's for sure. Rhades gets a bee and a bottle for his trouble, and a heart piece and 20 rupees. Flipper's not paying off so far. And the Eastern Palace big key. Just 3 bombs right now. That one's not paying off either yet. And there is a lantern which, combined with the Eastern Palace big key, puts what WesSideVandal is doing right now, sequence breaking the back of Eastern Palace into logic. This could be where our progression is. Oh no, but he takes a death. That is a deceptively difficult dark room. He's going back in. Taking a couple hits from the cannonballs. Rhades picks up that lantern. What will he do with it? As far as in-logic checks go, Vortex of Doom, I believe those are the only checks we have yet to see, except possibly Dark Cross. I do not believe that was checked yet. Oh yeah, Pod is also now in logic with those slippers as well. Yeah, and thank you, Drunk Future Self, keeping me honest. The Meyer Shed is also in logic, and uh, I do think that's... Oh, and blind as well. That sword puts blind in logic. Uh, with the exception of the small key to Thieves Town being needed. Looked like Rhades almost forgot the big chest there. Not gonna forget his 3 bombs. And that lamp is a big difference in this game right now. WesSideVandal is determined to get through this. And I think discretion being the better part of valor, decides to check other places and hopefully picks up that lantern. But the eastern big key was not the progression, the lamp may be pointing somewhere else. Nonetheless, that is the first crystal on the board, and at about 41 minutes, 25 seconds. Definitely a bit more overworld heavy seed for this key sanity seed today. Looks like WesSideVandal is doing this blind fight, and Rhades is heading back to Skull Woods. I'm not sure what he left behind. Looks like the vanilla big key chest. Really nice fight from Wes so far. Getting to phase 3, still has 2 hearts, uses that red potion, and is almost there. Yes, just got there. Well done. That was a very nice fight. Unfortunately, not rewarded. It's just a green rupee. And Rhades finds a big key. I'm afraid I didn't catch the text box for which big key that was. Oh, the Skullwoods big key. Alright, well, that's convenient. We can just go right here. And get our 20 rupees. Nice. WesSideVandal, meanwhile, did not pick up the chests back here in the drop-down area of Skull Woods, so we'll pick those up now. And Rhades is going to head to the eastern side of the Dark World, which is very likely where our progression is. Takes an unfortunate death to the Hinox, forgets that they are immune to the hookshot. You need to stun them with the boomerang. WesSideVandal just checks those 3 and skips the Vanilla Big Key chest, which has our Vanilla Big Key in it. He doesn't know that, but if he skips that, he can save a little bit of time. And with all of the castle open now, this makes a lot of sense for WesSideVandal. Completely clear out this location. You can do all of it, and maybe Dark Cross has the answer. Looks like Raids will hit the Catfish location first. We will see if our grouchy friend has a prize or junk for us today. Raids elects to throw a bush into the circle of stones and is rewarded with a different way to make some explosions. I imagine the pyramid is up next for Raids before committing to that pod dive. Both players still very low health, very low equipment, but they've been making it work so far. They're really getting through these Dark World checks, getting through these dungeons. We just have to see where it all leads. Maybe... Oh, the 4th Turtle Rock key. Not useful yet, but we have all 4 already. So, when we do get to Turtle Rock, we can full clear that dungeon. Wes, almost deleting his file there. I really hope he doesn't accidentally click that at some point. Please don't do that. Alright, WesSideVandal heading to Sick Kid. Gonna check this first, then probably going to the portal. We'll see if he elects to check the purple chest first, or follow Raids to the Eastern Dark World. So the first check-in pod is just a piece of heart. Luckily for Rhades, it didn't give him a refill since he wanted to do that death warp. And he's going to spend a key here. This makes sense. Don't have the big key yet. And one more key with the hammer yump will allow you to full clear this dungeon. Not too risky right now. Well, as soon as we get the mirror and the hammer, we can turn in that big key to Swamp Palace. Still quite a ways away. I think we also need the Swamp Palace small key for that. Oh, but there's finally a nice boon for these players. Silver arrows. As soon as WesSideVandal comes in here, I believe he will pick those up as well. And that's something that can, it doesn't hit every enemy, but it hits a lot of enemies and usually one-shots them. So just blue mail on the right side, and you can't get through to the rest of the dungeon without the hammer here. So opening that front door absolutely required since we did not pick that up. So Rhades feeling a little better now with his equipment situation, picked up some blue mail, and now gets to head to the back of pod. I believe with the 4 keys, only the 3 chests here in Compass and in the Dark Basement will be in Logic. But the other choices are available. Harmless Hellway, the Maze, and the Vanilla Big Key chest. Alright, so that was not progression. But we do have a small key to Thieves. Well, that is progression, isn't it? That's the big chest. WesSideVandal already checked blind. We know that that isn't progression. Maybe both of our players will have to go back into Thieves Town just for that big chest. Rhades sets up the hammer yump, gets it. This is really nice. Saves a key here. Can't check the big chest, unfortunately, but, there's 2 items back here. That pod key could be out there somewhere, putting this in Logic. But there's nothing too helpful here. A full heart container is nice, but not progression. And yeah, it looks like Rhades will have the option to save scum this key. Great point from Vortex of Doom there in chat. If this is nothing, he can just do a reset, save all the progress from the 11 chests he's already checked in here. And that's exactly what he does. So now he knows he doesn't need to find a 5th key. He just needs the big key to check the final 2 chests in here. And WesSideVandal does not have that lamp still at a, you know, getting through these dark rooms really nicely. But just causing a little bit of time loss probably compared to how Raids got through. Just when you hold the sword out, you move a little slower. So that lamp is a small advantage still. And it looks like Raids is back in the Village of Outcasts. Is he going to do Thieves Town? Or, well, that's right, that hammer is required for that big chest, isn't it? But Blind is in Logic, so Raids is back to take care of Blind. And WesSideVandal is out of keys. We'll be checking right side next, but we'll have that same option later, I believe, to save Scum a key in the back, maybe, or um, after picking up more keys. A really clutch fight from Raids there. Just gets the sword swipe in as Blind is heading down. And WesSideVandal is done with Pod, not missing anything, picked up the only possible item that could be progression in that Thieves Town small key, and is heading off. To do the water checks. Alright, meanwhile, Raids is picking up the purple chest. This has been in Logic for a while. Without that mirror, though, very difficult to pick this up. And if this isn't something, it pretty much has to be the Misery Mire Shed. Yes, that big chest in Thieves Town does also require the hammer, so neither player can check that location right now. So there's the fire rod from Purple Chest, and that is something we can do. This should open up exactly 2 checks in the back of Skullwoods. Combined with that sword that we picked up from the mountain, we can slash the curtain, get access to the moth, and slay him. So that's where Raids is going first. Yep, chat pointing out Ice Palace also in Logic with that fire rod. And it looks like WesSideVandal will pick up his lamp. I'm sure he's going to be happy to see that. Might be a little upset that he didn't get it earlier, but I think made pretty good work of the pod basement maze. Might take that lamp to the back of Eastern to finish that up. We'll see. Yeah, and another reason to put off Ice Palace for a second is probably hoping for the Cane of Samaria to show up, maybe the big key to Ice Palace so you don't have to go back in later. Lots of reasons to put that off right now, so I don't disagree with this play to come into Skull Woods first. And we get to see the rare bug net usage. Rhades has caught a fairy right before going to face Mothula. I really like that play. Fighter Sword Moth is never fun. Yeah, that hammer has got to be somewhere pretty soon, I imagine. There is not a lot we can do without it at this point in the game. Yeah, the good bee can deal damage to Moth. I believe it's equivalent to the Fighter's Sword. A regular bee is not so useful because the regular bee will leave the screen, but the good bee will stay on the screen, I believe forever, unless it gets pulled away by something. And Rhades has Moth down. WesSideVandal finally checking that Meyer Shed. Let's see what we get. Oh, it's the mirror! Okay, so that really helps us out here. Rhades with a clutch fight on Mothula there. I believe he kept his fairy as well. But that mirror is the real find here. It's going to unlock, I believe, all of Desert Palace. But WesSideVandal isn't interested in Desert Palace. Wants to go somewhere else with that mirror. It's also going to unlock the Tower of Hera for both of our players. There's a big key up on Spectacle Rock. And I believe both players have found that, no, only WesSideVandal found that Hera Small, I believe. But the cape from Mothula has a small key. Right here up on Bumper Ledge. And another big key out in the open, and it's the big key to Ganon's Tower. That search is over. And this is just a small key to Ganon's Tower, so maybe not required. And with our pendants starting to take shape, we still need the big key to Pod. We still need the hammer for Ice Palace, which we will find somewhere. We're really running low on items that could show up in Ganon's Tower. WesSideVandal getting another key to Pod. That's a nice find to see for him since he was out of the small keys. Meanwhile, Rhades is going to pick up that mirror. Let's see which checks he prioritizes with it. WesSideVandal did not peek the torch in here. It's the only item we can't get to right now in Desert Palace. But we can take a look. Oh, and there's the Cane of Samaria, so that's going to help out with Ice Palace. There's still a few locations that they can't get to without the hammer. So I think putting that off for a little bit longer makes sense, but I think at some point we may see someone jump in there. WesSideVandal using the lamp to light these torches does not have the fire rod yet. Has to check purple chest at some point. With silver arrows in hand though, does get one land mola down. Is that the singular of land molas? The second one goes down, the third one goes down. And our reward is some more bombs and the Pendant of Courage. So that may take WesSideVandal back to pod, but with no easy way to get there without the hammer. I imagine he may just check that from the light world. And here we have the 1 hour, 6 minute, 26 second Sphere 0 check. Did our runners leave something behind in Aegina's cave? No, they didn't. WesSideVandal going into Eastern first. This makes a lot of sense. Picked up that lamp. Has to defeat the Armos Knights at some point. Raids. Finishes up Land Molas with a nice one cycle. Gets some bombs. And now has to choose where to go next. As WesSideVandal quick swaps through his menu, I am reminded of the magic powder. The magic bat is also available right now. Thanks to the mirror. But it looks like Raids is going to take the mirror and head up to Tower of Hera. Another dungeon that he can complete. does not have the big key, but with the Hera pot available, does not need it. And we're finally going to find out on one of these big keys that we saw. It's the big key to Palace of Darkness, so I believe this means that there will not be any progression in Ganon's tower itself. Both players will be able to climb the tower without checking the basement. Assuming there aren't like 3 swords down there or something. That would be really ridiculous. Yeah, I believe we just need the hammer to put the pedestal into logic and make it completable. The green pendant rewards 3 more bombs, so in case you didn't like the 3 bombs from Landmullas, WesSideVandal had a few extra, decided to give Sahasrahla one of those extra bombs. Rhades just a little too low to get the invincibility glitch in the correct location. Just spends a few seconds to reflip that switch. Very interesting that his first step was to check the basement. Really didn't want to leave this item behind, and unfortunately not rewarded today. It's just a compass. Alright, so I don't believe there was any progression here inside Tower of Hera, but it will be 2 checks upstairs that Rhades can sequence break, and and another crystal dungeon. And WesSideVandal checking the magic bat with that mirror and powder. This is a very potential. Alright, that had potential to be interesting. It's just another pod key. I believe that's all 6 found now. That means everything except the boss can be reached now. And Rhades is going to take on this this Moldorm here. A very difficult fight with only Fighter Sword, no hammer to help out. The Fighter Sword and the Master Sword do the same damage, so no help from spins here either. And not even any boots to dash through Moldorm, so he will get to his Enrage phase. This is always a tricky part of this fight. Oh, and Rhades just gets the stab in. Very nicely done. And WesSideVandal is back to pick up that purple chest. He's going to be happy to find that fire rod. We'll probably take it right into Skullwoods. Yeah, but both players really getting bottlenecked here. I believe they have the well, Rhades has the pod big chest to check, and both players have hammerless ice palace that they could investigate. And WesSideVandal taking that chest, walking to the south of the grove here, the cave affectionately known as Cave 45. Just 10 arrows inside. Raids heading to, I believe, Floating Island, may take the cape into Spike Cave afterward. Yes, we saw Stumpy. Stumpy had a compass. Yeah, that's correct, Aku. The hammer isn't required for all of Ice Palace, but it is required for 2 chests on the right side and the boss logically. One of those chests can be sequence broken with the Cane of Samaria using the Icebreaker glitch. Oh, and there's our Swamp Palace key! So that puts the entire dungeon in logic available for raids to go collect. Oh, wait, no, hammer. Hammer again. My bad. This hammer is really eluding our runners right now. That does unlock the first 2 chests in Ice Palace. The first one was already available. The key adds 1 more to that list. Yeah, we're really, really narrowing in on where this hammer could be. And at this point, I don't think there's many locations left that could even be unlocked. There's still Boots. There's Misery Mire if we find the correct medallion. There's the shovel. Even the book wouldn't unlock any new locations because we don't have Master Sword to collect the item from the tablets. So we're really, really limited in where this hammer could be. It's very unlikely for any seed to result in a soft lock, even using glitches. The devs do a lot of good work to make sure that the seed is beatable in some way, even if you do have to go back and forth to different locations. Yeah, not David Lynch. Maybe Graveyard Ledge is where we'll find the hammer. That is unchecked right now. Raid's gonna check these 2 locations inside Swamp Palace. WesSideVandal picks up the cape, unlocking the bumper ledge for that GT small key. Unfortunately, Spike Cave not available yet, as those little mole guys need to be hammered down in order to get to that chest. So is this it? It is! It is! Raids has made the correct choice, guessed the correct dungeon to dip without the hammer, can now fully complete this dungeon, and is looking for Quake, the Misery Mire Big Key, the Turtle Rock Big Key, and whatever medallion is required for Misery Mire. I missed when they went into Misery Mire if they checked for the medallion requirement. I can't imagine they missed, they didn't check, but I might have just been looking away both times. I did not see it either. Thank you, Ogre, saying that it was Quake as well. So that really limits the number of items that we need. So we're just looking for, I believe, 3 items to complete the seed. However, with the number of big keys required by the boots, I suspect one of them might be, one or both might require those boots. And now with that hammer, Raids can check a lot of the world now, but still can't get into Turtle Rock, can't get into Misery Mire. So there's a limited selection of places where he can go right now. WesSideVandal using the cape, avoiding the pterodactyls. Nicely done. Going to check Graveyard Ledge now. Well, I called them pterodactyls, but, because everyone calls them murderdactyls, but I don't suppose they are pterodactyls, are they? And Raids checks left side swamp for heart container and 3 bombs. The only time left side swamp has value is when you don't check it. Of course. A heart piece that WesSideVandal picks up, I don't blame him at all. Still on 6 hearts right now. Getting through this seed, really nicely done so far. Just has not been a very healthy seed. Looks like WesSideVandal wants to pick up some rupees from the Houlihan room. This is a room that you can access by causing the game to not know where you're supposed to end up. It's a very nice little room where you can pick up a couple of rupees. And there's our Quake medallion. It's in the waterfall room of Swamp Palace, and just a few more, just 2 more big keys to go. Looks like WesSideVandal is using the money from Houlihan to buy some potions. Really heads up play. If the seed doesn't give you money, get it yourself, right? And, you know, I always love picking up potions, even if I don't expect to have any trouble. Just having it is peace of mind that I'm not going to need it. Just make sure that if you do have one and you need it, you use it, because it is costly not to. Unfortunately, WesSideVandal is making the plunge into Ice Palace doesn't know this isn't where the hammer is, but is hoping for some kind of reward here. I like the play. You have to choose which dungeon to go into. And, you know, there's more possibilities in this dungeon than Swamp Palace. And Rhades picks up another crystal. I believe that is, yes, that is crystal number 5. So it has all of the crystals except for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. And now he is going to head into Ice Palace. Looks like WesSideVandal is going to do the Icebreaker clip here. Really heads up play. This is not risky with the small keys that he has. Sometimes coming in here without the hammer, you can get locked in on this side and have to go through the dungeon again, which can cost quite a bit of time, even with Icebreaker. Spends a potion there, having a little bit of trouble getting the diagonal motion. There it is. Gets it. Oh, and just didn't quite finish the glitch off there. How this works is, what he's trying to do is he's trying to step 1 pixel, and there it is, into the doorway. Hold a diagonal button so that Link is facing down when that block gets placed, and then takes 1 pixel to the left again, and is able to hold any button to get through the doorway and then clip through that rail there. No rewards so far on the right side. And Rhades now trying the same glitch here, having a little bit of trouble as well. And that small key to Skullwood's not helping our players out very much right now. And this hammer could lead to a big difference in this game right now. And just a bottle so far. Oh, WesSideVandal with the nice dodge of the anti-fairy. That is tricky to do. And that's the last chest that WesSideVandal can check in here. It's a heart container. So not the reward he was looking for. But if he can manage to find the Quake Medallion and avoid doing anything unnecessary in this dungeon, he may save some time later. And with that, Raids can now go to the boss. Can't check the big key. Well, actually, I don't believe Raids flipped the switch. Which means he... Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, he did flip the switch. That's good. WesSideVandal now investigating the Tower of Hera. Seeing, what's in here. Hopefully after this goes and picks up the key on the floating island. Yes, Raids did kill Mothula. Now Raids is going to do a hammer hold stair fight here. Looking really good so far. Has that red mail, has a number of hearts. Really doing a nice job avoiding damage here. Oh, it takes a small hit from the puffs. Another hit. Oh, he just got bullied. Has to be careful. Doesn't want to cede any time here. And really wants to find out the item as well. Oh, oh no, the ice block hits him. Oh, and there's the fairy to the rescue. The fairy that he picked up a very long time ago. Now he just needs to be a little careful. And there it is, the final puff goes down. That fairy came in through the clutch. Really nicely done to get through that. No reward, unfortunately, but the fight is over and he can move on. It looks like WesSideVandal is interested in the Palace of Darkness, heading over in that direction. Meanwhile, Raids is heading there as well, but can do it a little quicker with that hammer. Yeah, that swamp dive is really paying off for Raids right now. And while the runners run through the overworld another time, let me just take another moment to encourage you to follow these players. Rhades138 of the Hovering Sick Kids and WesSideVandal of Guardians of the Galaxy Brain. And a big shout out to the Restream team, of course, our broadcaster Amarith, and our tracker Drunk Future Self, doing the hard work, getting the stream put together, pushing those buttons. Give them a follow and a big thanks too. Raids setting up the hammer yump again, now that he has the big key. Gets it just in time, and gets 10 arrows. And meanwhile, WesSideVandal is back in Hyrule Castle, heading to Darkcross. Raid saving a little time with that Cane of Samaria, doesn't have to push the statue to get to the boss here. Always nice to have. It's probably, besides the boots, one of the best convenience items to have. And WesSideVandal is not heading to pod right away, heading down to the ice lake. Looks like he's gonna check Hylia Island. And he collects his heart container. Has a bit of a thought. I was going to save and quit, decides to flute away instead. And almost went to 4. Decides to go to 3 instead. And Rhades makes quick work of that mask. 1 silver arrow to the Jewel of Helmasaur King, and it is down. A small key to Skull Woods. So I believe that's all of the Skull Woods keys now. I'm not sure exactly how the logic works, but the important thing is logic doesn't matter sometimes. I'm not sure what Rhades is interested in here. Maybe that was... well, that was a pendant. Maybe he has the 5-6 crystals. But I believe one of Meyer or Turtle Rock has to be that, so I'm not sure. We're just gonna have to wait and see. He may have done a menu check, and yep, there it is. There's the super bomb. So, electing to do this first, before diving into those dungeons, makes sense. You don't want to leave behind the key that you need. Right, I'm not sure that Rhades even knew until he checked his menu, which crystals were 5 and 6. So I don't think you missed it necessarily, Junk Future Self. Great job with the tracking. Another bee in a bottle from the fairies today. Fairies not being super helpful today, unless you really, really like bees in bottles. I know Rhades is back in the castle. Well, I could have sworn both players had done this already, but apparently not. It makes sense to check this now. Both players having access with the mirror to check this real quick. Looks like Rhades wants to go into Misery Mire first. Wants to try to save that climb up the mountain. Unfortunately, in this case, it's more of a you just have to guess. Pick your poison and hope you guess right. I believe we are still missing 4 big keys. We know where 2 of them are, and we need 2 of them. So maybe those 2 keys are the ones we need, but they might not be the ones we need too. However, I do think it's very likely that at least one of them is the Mire or Turtle Rock key, simply because Ice Palace is a pendant and that big key might be in GT. Looks like Rhades wants to check the left side first. Makes sense, starting with 3 keys, I believe, in this dungeon. It's very quick to come over here, flip the switch, and start your search. And there's a coin we don't need. Always fun to freeze the air with ether. Unfortunately, not useful today. And there's our sword upgrade. I'm sure both players are were thinking about that. Where is the sword going to show up? I don't want to be in sword mode looking for a sword. But still looking for those 2 big keys. And yeah, to answer chat, I can't speculate as to why WesSideVandal didn't go further into Swamp Palace. I believe he has not gotten the key yet. I think it's on the floating island, actually. And I don't remember seeing him pick that up. Meanwhile, Rhades has found the Bombos medallion, another medallion that we just don't need today. It looks like WesSideVandal is going to pick up that Swamp Small momentarily. That should put him well on the path to picking up that hammer. And Rhades has done all he can do in Mire, didn't get the big keys, didn't get the boots, and is now headed to the pedestal. Not in logic, it should be pointed out, but if the logical progression is Ice Palace Big Key to this pedestal, then this could be a pretty big play. The Master Heart Container. Looking like that Ice Palace Big Key not gonna lead to progression today. Still could, of course. That big chest is still a check potential reward there. WesSideVandal picks up that swamp small key. Really, really wishes he had that earlier, probably. And heads to Kakariko Village first. Trying to remember what is over here that he didn't pick up. Maybe the Thieves' Town big chest. Rhades is finishing off the Village of Outcasts as well. Doesn't want to leave behind hammer pegs. And 20 rupees inside. So both players getting bottlenecked again. You have to wonder what they're thinking. You know, are they nervous? Are they worried? Do they think, well, my opponent will also have to go through all these checks? It's a lot to consider when you're racing. You know, what the best play is. Where can I go that gives me the best advantage? And it looks like Rhades is heading up to the mountain, probably going to check Turtle Rock here. Also available is Spike Cave, that magic cape, and the hammer finally make that available to check. And beyond that, I don't believe there's any other locations that we have access to right now, except possibly the Thieves' Town big chest, which I do not recall seeing either runner go back to yet. And WesSideVandal will shortly find the Quake Medallion here in the back of Swamp Palace. The big question is, will he go left side or will he try to gamble? Maybe make up some time here. We know that he's a little bit behind right now. But he doesn't. And it looks like he is he's even abandoning the compass chest, which is a really aggressive play, and it's what he needs to do right now. And so Rhades heads into Turtle Rock. He can do the first 4 chests in here, in addition to Mimic Cave. Well, actually, he can do the first 5 chests in here. I forgot the Vanilla Big Key chest is also available. And he's looking for either the Misery Mire Big Key or the Turtle Rock Big Key. And we know where 2 of the big keys, 2 of the 4 remaining big keys are. They are on the Lumberjack Ledge behind Aghanim's Tower and the library, both of which require the boots. So I expect those will probably show up pretty soon here. And Rhades has to go deeper to find this item. Just 2 more options left here in Turtle Rock. And WesSideVandal doing a really nice hook shot, quick swap to silver arrows. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, the quick swap betrayal. Just one too many presses and it's the mirror and he has to go all the way back. That is not fun at all. And that was going really nicely too with that quick swap from the hook shot to the silver arrows. Just an unfortunate turn of events for WesSideVandal. But he's still in this race. Rhades has not found the item he needs to keep moving on. If WesSideVandal decides to go straight to wherever this progression is, he could have a chance to come right back into this game. So here's the last location for raids right now, up here on the mountain. If it's not here, I think it has to be the Thieves Town big chest. And it's a big key to Misery Mire. Not allowed to finish the dungeon, has to go back down. So 2 more locations available with that big key, the big chest and the boss. The boss probably not going to pose too much of a challenge. Rhades has silver arrows and the cape to make Vitreous pretty easy. WesSideVandal switching strategies here, going with the menu to the hammer. I really like this one. It's a little annoying maybe when you're playing, but it's very effective. So now the question becomes, is this Mire Big Key the key to unlocking the rest of the seed? Or is there maybe that Thieves Town Big Chest is still in play? Well, there's a nice upgrade for our sword. Again, not exactly the item we're looking for. WesSideVandal getting the silver arrow onto Argus. Needs to make up some time here. Needs to either gamble on that Thieves Town Big Chest or head right up to Turtle Rock. Also of note though, 2 swords were in Misery Mire, so if he does not end up full clearing Mire, he may miss one of them. Restocking on potions, very smart. The seed has been a seed for sure. Rhades is using spooky action, unfortunately forgets that Mire starts with the orange pegs down. Actually, all dungeons start with those orange pegs down. Has to re-switch the switch and then move on to the next room. Nice use of spooky though. Really nice glitch to set up. Fun to use too. Looks like WesSideVandal is going to finish off Ice Palace first. Has that that map chest to check still, and the boss. Not going to take him too long. And there are the boots. We can check the two big keys that we could see from the beginning of the game. Is it? Is it? The big question, do they have to do Aga Tower before completing Ganon's Tower? It's almost certain that one of these is the key they need. But if this is the Ice Palace big key, then we get a really interesting question. If it's the Hera big key, we also get an interesting question. Because that big chest is still unchecked, but let's see. It is! It's just the key we need. The seed has been generous. Rhades is in go mode, 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 50 seconds into this seed. Rhades heading off to Turtle Rock. Only needs to rush to the boss. Probably won't check any more chests. Doesn't need anything. Has red mail, 12 hearts, and tempered sword with the silver arrows. Thankfully, WesSideVandal picked up those potions, accidentally shot one of those fire rod blasts down into the wall. Looks to clean up these cold stare puffs. The puffs are down. We know WesSideVandal needs to rush up to Turtle Rock, grab the Misery Mire big key from Mimic Cave, and then go into Misery Mire and pick up his swords and the boots from Vitreous. Rhades is on the floating platform maze. Luckily, this isn't randomized. Don't give the devs any ideas, please. And WesSideVandal off to finish pod. That makes a lot of sense. Still has to do this, maybe get something. We know, unfortunately, not going to be the case today. But then after this, I think will be an interesting decision for him to make. Let's see how Rhades does with Tempered Sword Trinex. The Fire Head is down. The Ice Head is going down quickly. It's down. And the main body is down, just like that. Really nice fight. And so now Rhades has his 7th crystal, and that means we get to play... oh wait, I'm being told we've already found the Ganon's Tower Big Key. It was, where was that? Desert Ledge, I believe? So if you picked Desert Ledge before the game started, congratulations. You win absolutely nothing. Rhades trying to get that hook speed with the sword extended. That helps you move up the staircase just a little bit more quickly than without doing that technique. And WesSideVandal getting the mask off of Helmaslor. Rhades climbing the tower. Rhades has that cape out, wants to use it to get through these rooms as quickly as possible. Looks like WesSideVandal is interested in the Village of Outcasts. Probably wants to check out Hammer Pegs. Maybe that Thieves Town Big Chest, if that's still unchecked. Oh, nope, I was completely wrong. Looks like this is a pedestal check that we saw from Rhades earlier. Rhades taking a bit of damage here, but he knows he can afford to be aggressive. Picked up 2 fairies in Turtle Rock, and I believe still has both of those. WesSideVandal fluting away from the pedestal. Hopefully going to the mountain next, and going to Misery Mire instead. He will get his Master Sword, but unfortunately, that is it. Oh no, and doesn't kill the murder dactyl. So that will deal a little bit of damage through this cutscene. Rhades gets through the torches, no problem. Doesn't need to open any of these chests, doesn't need to kill the mini Helmasaur for a key. Just needs to go as quickly as possible through these rooms. For all he knows, his opponent is right behind him, or right in front of him, and he wants to go as quickly as possible. Gets knocked off by Moldorm. Let's see if Rhades is going to live up to his team name and try to hover this gap. Doesn't seem interested in it, maybe is worried. This has been a long seed. Gets knocked down again. Moldorm is not playing nice today. And there it is, Moldorm is down. Rhades is not hovering, playing this very safely. Makes a lot of sense. You don't want to lose the race on a failed hover. Getting trolled by these mini Helmasaurs. They are all over the place and he gets the dash off to escape them. Rhades can hover that gap. Chooses not to today. I think I understand why. It's been a very long seed. Doesn't want to risk being unable to do it, falling behind because of it. A very nice Aga 2 fight there from Rhades. Looks like he got a couple doubles and finished off with what would have been a triple if he weren't one hit away from being finished with the fight. And now, in an ironic twist, has to go finish off Aga 1 in the castle tower. A feature of this version of All Dungeons Key Sanity this season is that the Castle Tower keys were not randomized with the rest of the items in the game. So both players knew this coming in, that they did not have to find these two small keys that otherwise could be anywhere in the game. Oftentimes they are in Ganon's Tower as well, requiring you to search high and low for them. So just speeding up a bit of the game here, making it a little less random. WesSideVandal gets the bad news. Progression is not in Misery Mire. Has to climb the mountain to Turtle Rock. Rhades getting through the tower very quickly. Uses that hook shot to push the guard off the bridge, out of his way. Really nice hook speed from Rhades there. Gets halfway across the room before Ganem sends Zelda into the crystal. Now Rhades just needs to do 6 reflected orange bolts of damage to Ganem, and we'll be very close to finishing out this seed. Nothing that he can do about those blue balls. Those are randomly generated in a predetermined pattern when the seed is generated. And there's the final hit on a Ganem. Rhades is now just one Ganon fight away from the Hovering Sick Kid's first victory of this season. Ganon was not informed that there is no bait in this game, and is very disappointed. It's doing a really nice job here with the damage, staying safe, getting lots of hits in. Already on to phase 3 here. Just 4 swings, and then we enter phase 4. WesSideVandal is on the way to their progression, but it's just going to be too little too late, it looks like. Rhades is on to the final phase of Ganon. Just needs to hit him with 4 silver arrows. Almost gets him set up for a double there. On to the last arrow, just needs this last one, and there it is. Rhades finishes off Ganon. Just has to make it past this little bridge, into the credits scene, claim the Triforce, and win the game. GG to Rhades. And it looks like WesSideVandal will forfeit here. Totally understandable. There's so much, you know, when you go into one of these, you don't have to finish it out if you don't want to. So GG to both players.
Yeah, and trust me, I did not want to.
GG, Westside.
GG's. I would like to formally apologize to chat for making you watch this for multiple reasons.
I think we were very entertained. It was a very interesting scene to watch. You both had some great moments.
Oh, you know, like tactical mirroring against Argus, trying to be too fancy. Yeah, that was great.
That was a very interesting fight up until that moment, and it was just so unfortunate to see that quick swap go straight to the mirror.
Yeah.
we definitely asked for it. We told Amaris to make it ugly when she rolled the seed. It was, and we earned it.
Well, I mean, I said it. You just kind of went along
So you both had very similar routes to start the game. The only difference being raids going into the castle tower. What did you guys think? Did you think it was pretty linear to start?
Y-
What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't even remember the start. That was so long ago.
Yeah. Uh, all I remember at the start is just dying repeatedly in really dumb ways and just tilting into like the next dimension. But like thinking back on like where certain items were, I would probably say this was a pretty linear seed. It's just for me, it was just like I said, I tilted, and by the time I recovered, I was just like, okay, we're just maybe a miracle happens, but I'm pretty sure I'm just running this string out until Raids finishes. So, yeah, it was an experience.
The only thing I remember early in the seed is seeing that small key on Lumberjack and going, "Oh no, that's the Swamp Small. I know it's the Swamp Small."
Wait, there
Yeah,
was a small
I think it was a big key, wasn't it?
on Lumberjack.
All I
Think
know it was a key.
Yeah, it was. There was a key there for sure, and there's also one in the library, which definitely. I think both of you were probably hoping for early Boots to pick that up, but Boots were pretty late in this one.
Yeah, the big key in that one was Turtle Rock on Library.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
okay. I must have misremembered something. Let me take a look at my tracker here. Oh no, I didn't mark down lumberjack, so I must have seen something. But my brain was telling me it was like unimportant. So it's probably a good thing.
Yeah. So after the Cold Stare fight and the Argus fight, Westside, did you feel like you needed to do a little bit of gambling? What were you thinking then?
Honestly, by that point, like I said, I was pretty sure that Raids was going to tan my hide. So I I was basically just trying to like put some marks up on the board, as it were. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go to dungeons and bosses I know I can do. So that's why I skipped like most of Swamp. I was just like, yeah, I know there's so much more stuff I need, but I can kill like 3 bosses and at least feel productive.
I don't think there was
uh,
anything in Swamp anyway, so you didn't miss anything there.
yeah, but
Just
like,
Quake in the waterfall room, but you
Okay.
both picked that up.
yeah, which yeah, yeah, but yeah, it was like I said, at that point for me, it was more just, yeah, let's maybe try to make this a little bit interesting, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting beaten quite badly at this point. So I'll rush what I can, and if something falls out and I happen to catch back up, cool. If not, well, yeah. Because yeah, all of the really dumb deaths early tilted me, and I just couldn't recover.
Well, it was pretty close for most of the race, at least through the first half. And so raids in that mid game, you were pretty thorough with the overworld. What were you thinking there? 3 items from Go mode, especially.
I didn't even know I was 3 items from Go mode. Like, I didn't know how close I was to Go mode until I picked up the Meyer key,
Okay,
and then I
okay.
actually started looking at it.
Yeah, you got pretty bottlenecked there. I think you may have had 2 other locations left. I don't know if you ever went back to Thieves Town for the big chest or the spike chest.
No, I didn't get. I got the spike chest, didn't I?
Yeah, maybe you did.
I think
Maybe
the
I,
only chest I had left in Thieves Town was the big chest. I know that's the only chest I had left in Ice. So yeah, yeah, that big chest was the only one I had left.
all right, gotcha. Yeah, so it was a great race from both of you. WesSideVandal, how are you feeling? I feel like that was a tough seed, got some tough breaks, but I'm wishing you good luck in your future races.
I'm just glad I have next week off as it stands, because there's definitely some tinkering I need to go back and do. But yeah, GG's Raids. I
Thanks for
couldn't
the run.
put up a bit more of a fight, but yeah, just a really bad start to the seed and just didn't recover from there.
Yep, and for Raids, this is the Hovering Sick Kid's first victory, so how are you feeling about that?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about it. We went, I think it was the third or fourth week before we got our first win last year, and I'm pretty happy to have it a little bit earlier this time around.
Oh, well, GG to both players. Any other final thoughts from you guys?
I think my final thought is thank you, Plume, thank you, Drunk Future Self, and thank you, Amaranth, for putting us up today.
Yep, that sounds about right.
All right, sounds good. That will conclude today's race for the A Link to the Past League Randomizer. I'm not... Uh, this has been Plumerionite signing off with Amareth and Drunk Future Self. Thank you all for watching.